Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another video. I'm your host, Rising Oblivion, and today we're going to go back to the wall where I show stuff off, and we're going to be talking about all of my steelbooks that I currently have. I'm a sucker for steelbooks. I want more of them, gonna be getting more of them. However, because of certain events, I might not have gotten certain steelbooks, or they were just flat out sold out. But this is currently my steelbook collection so far, and there's a little bit of history behind all of them. I know a lot of you have the Persona 5 Steelbook and the Catherine Steelbook because they're pretty much launch editions of the game if you get them physically. And then some of the other games had to have been deluxe editions or better editions or just random deluxe editions, special editions, limited editions, whatever you want to call it, something editions, just like all the game developers do it. But we're going to go down the line how I sort of got all these, why I got all of these. I find that every Steelbook sort of has a story in some way, and I think steelbooks are something in the industry we should push for, because I am definitely like a physical collector when it actually comes to collecting games of any kind, really. So let's just sort of go down the line here. We will get to the Catherine and Persona ones. They are the most recent ones I have gotten, but we will get to those. I'm going to talk about sort of all of my steelbooks. Borderlands 3, Final Fantasy 15, and then, yes, even a Call of Duty game, Steelbook, yes. And then we have Kingdom Hearts 3's Deluxe Edition, which is pretty nuts too. So we'll go down the line here and sort of how I ended up acquiring all of these and the sort of timeline, I guess you could say, of finding them. So starting with Black Ops 3, this is the earliest Steelbook I'd gotten, 2016? I believe 2016, maybe 2015, right towards the end of the year. So this is the actual Juggernog edition. It came with the Juggernog machine. Any of you zombie fans out there should know about Juggernog. It's infamous return to Black Ops Cold War, but this is the first Steelbook I had gotten, and it actually is a accidental Steelbook. I wanted the Juggernog machine from Zombies, so that's sort of how it started, but I ended up getting the Steelbook included, and honestly, there's a difference in steelbooks in terms of bad quality versus cheaper quality. This is actually a good quality one. Call of Duty, for once, didn't jip people out of their money, and I believe the reason I got this, like I said, is just for the Juggernog machine, stuff like that. It came with Nuketown, the Season Pass, a bunch of stuff, so I got to have all of the stuff for Black Ops 3, which was pretty nice. But like I said, the first accidental steelbook, but a trend that would keep coming in my life. So 2016 for this bad boy, and then next, which I believe either came out that same year or the next year after, I'm not 100% for sure, was the Final Fantasy 15. But I had had my eyes on Final Fantasy 15 for the longest time. I know it was a little bit of a failure to some people. Some people didn't really like it, but I got the deluxe edition because I figured out it had the movie involved with it, and I actually love the art on the steelbook. So the art on the steelbook does look different compared to like what other people would have. It is the plastic sort of film, which I've noticed the trend of how Japanese developers always use plastic films, while people, maybe in the West don't do that. They use paper films or just no film at all, like with Black Ops, just no film or paper, nothing. There's nothing there. But I fell in love with the art on the steelbook, and I figured out it came with the movie, so I was like, hell yeah. The bad thing about this is the deluxe edition of this game does not have the season pass. Like, are you kidding me? I think it was like $100. It did not come with the season pass. I was very upset about that. Got fooled into thinking it actually came with the season pass, but you can see the art here. But here's a certain thing about certain steelbooks. Some include this brim, while some don't. You'll see what I mean here in a second, but if that brim wasn't here, this art would mash through like fluently, and this looks pretty dope. It's a very nice steelbook, don't get me wrong. I still like it even with that sort of like brim part in there, but it comes with the Final Fantasy 15 game, and it comes with some booklets of some other stuff, and I believe an 8-bit version of his father, but it also comes with the movie as well on Blu-ray, which is pretty nice. 2 Blu-ray discs, and it's kind of hard to tell, but the back cover here, if I take the disc out, is just the boys chilling out, which is pretty cool. I like having that. You could reverse the cover if it was a normal game, but unfortunately you can't, so it's just the boys chilling in the back. You get the good steelbook, not too bad, plastic film on top, but no season pass. So I gotta say that this one bothered me, the fact they didn't have the season pass, but Moving on over to some more Square Enix franchises that don't give you a season pass if you buy a deluxe edition. Once again, Kingdom Hearts 3. So it actually comes in this box with the booklet for the art book, everything else, and it comes with the normal game's actual book in there, like the actual case for that. I'm gonna have to get that out to get the Steelbook out, but the Steelbook was included with a normal, version of the game if you bought the deluxe edition. So the only thing about this is you can see there sort of in the light, it reflects all of the symbols sort of in the game, the nobody, heartless, blah blah blah, Mickey Mouse, and it has a little thing at the bottom there that does say Kingdom Hearts. It's not because the camera quality that this is hard to read, it's just that actual hard to read. I don't know why they were doing that. In the back is just all that. To be completely fair, the inside, I think, looks cooler than the outside in terms of that design. Because this one kind of looks... I get it. It's supposed to look kind of like, I don't know, just a matte color sort of design. But honestly, it looks a little bit boring. Well, the inside here, it's simplistic, but still cool at the same time. I actually like the inside of that more. But it's also cool that it actually came with the actual game case itself, which already is a pretty... awesome one just to begin with, so not too bad to have that. Still a good Steelbook. Like I said though, no season pass, so the DLC that came out for Kingdom Hearts 3 I did not get for free. Now, a developer that does include their season pass for the game, Borderlands 3. So I got Borderlands 3 pre-ordered on release. All of my Steelbooks were on release. There were games that I was so hyped for, I got them on release. So we have the Super Deluxe Edition, which came with all of the game's DLC, and we have the paper cover, which... Here's the thing, the plastic covers seem cheap and slip off real easy, but the paper covers get dented and bent and stuff like that because you're always sliding it in and out, you know what I'm saying? You're always sliding it in and out of the actual cover itself, so there can be a little bit of wear and tear, I guess, over time, but either way, you still have a Steelbook, so the paper doesn't matter that much, really. So we have the actual, sort of Steelbook here itself, and once you open it up, this developer actually kept in mind the seam that is there. The seam actually is, colored in to match what's on both sides, unlike what the other developers there did for, like, Black Ops or, Kingdom Hearts and stuff like that. So they actually kept that in mind. The background's just sort of the Borderlands symbol, blah, blah, blah. This is still pretty good, and a good edition of the game, too. If you want all the Season Pass... You want all the content, Season 1, which I knew I was going to play. I've played Borderlands 1, 2, pre-sequel, and gotten all of their content. I knew I was going to do the same for Borderlands 3. Borderlands 3 might not be the best Borderlands game in the world, but it's still a very good game, and I highly recommend, if you want all the content for the game, to get this version of it anyway. Moving on to what the Atlas fans have been wanting. Here's the launch edition of Catherine. So I got very lucky with this in that... I didn't live in a place that had a bunch of these actually going around. So I had to go from store to store calling them and then asking if they actually had this version of the game. Turns out they didn't actually have very many physical editions of the game, period, Steelbook or not. And I was lucky enough to get my hands on the launch edition and get the actual Steelbook. And here's another cool sort of Steelbook thing for them. So the inside's just the sheep falling stuff, which is still pretty nice, cool to have that. But the cover actually goes in on itself to give you a full picture image folded together. And I thought that's kind of cool how they did that. It's different than the Steelbooks where they decided to have the seam have art or something like that that matched with the sides, or just had a bit of art in the middle that didn't actually match the sides at all. This one actually goes in on itself and creates a full picture, which is super cool to have. And honestly, one of the coolest Steelbooks I think I have in general. In terms of just art design, this looks cool. The inside is pretty cool. It's somber. It looks nice. It matches the black on pink. It's cool. It has a film. There's no season passes to worry about with this game. It's just a cool game, cool puzzle game. And I love Catherine. I think it's one of the most... I'd say innovative games that we've had in the past couple of years. The puzzle game, story game, built into one, multiple endings, a fun experience. Full Body also gives you multiple different endings, more endings for certain characters that were already in the first game as well. So you're getting more newer endings for current characters, and you're getting new endings for Ren as well. So not bad. Extra content added on there. And then finally, we have my most up-to-date 2020 yearbook, 2020 Steelbook Persona 5 Royal. So the regular old Steelbook edition of this, didn't really have a problem. Didn't have as much of a problem getting this as a Steelbook as I did Catherine. So it might have just been the popularity of Persona 5 in general, which honestly, either side you pick, still pretty dope. It's pretty nice either way you get it. In terms of the Steelbook, I know you can have it like sort of the Japanese way of opening game cases, which I believe is exactly how this was supposed to meant to be. It actually goes this way. You open it like a Japanese Steelbook would be opened. You open it from the left to right, sort of how like you read that way. But I decided to turn it over and put the Steelbook on this way, just because I thought it looked kind of cool that way. Instead, you have all the characters there except for Joker. But if you open the bad boy open, flip it around, you get the full picture here. So Atlas decided to not let the brim go in on itself, but to instead put the art in there like Borderlands 3 did. So people with making Steelbooks can be kind of inconsistent, I must say, in terms of trying to figure out what they're going to do. But this Steelbook does look so nice. The only bad thing, I think you can kind of see there on Katsumi's hair, is this Steelbook, because of the way it is, it's not a matte sort of finish like Catherine's is. This one is more of a glossy finish, which does unfortunately get fingerprints on it. You can't really tell it too much because it's not black, but it's kind of hard to describe what I'm sort of saying here. But when you touch the Steelbook on Catherine full body, it's more rougher and papery feeling. It's a actual harder feeling with the Steelbook, where the Steelbook on Persona 5 Royal feels like glossy, I guess you could say. It feels slick compared to, Catherine there. And if you shine the lights in Joker's eyes, it does sort of glow up red, which I thought was a cool touch of that as well. I know it's just the background and his eyes are there, but it still looks pretty dope. And another cool thing, the disc looks absolutely amazing here as well, which is sort of the same thing that's on the front of the Steelbook, but it just sort of, chromed out there. And you do get a free theme for this, and the theme that you see here on the back of the cover is what you get the theme for on your PS4. So that is what you get in terms of the theme as well. But I'm sure a lot of you out there, especially if you're following my, channel for Persona stuff, have already seen this more than likely, because you probably own the game. But yeah, that's my most up-to-date Steelbook that I have. I do look forward to getting more. I know Like a Dragon Steelbook's pretty cool. It's out there. A lot of Japanese developers doing the Steelbook thing just for their launch versions of their game. And I think I might turn this around and have Ren sort of at the front. That's the cool thing about Steelbooks. You can have sort of the either cover you want with the game's logo on it, or you can throw these plastic film and things away, but I choose to keep them. I don't like throwing them out. I'd rather have them. But yeah, I think that's gonna wrap it up for the most part. All my Steelbooks there. Keep that out of there. But yeah, that's all of my current Steelbooks that I have. I look forward to getting more. Hopefully 2021 will be a nicer year. Won't be as crazy and chaotic. Won't be as hectic. I'm doing more YouTube content, more streaming, like I said. Finishing up college, maybe not be able to buy as many games as I would have liked to, but yeah, down in the description below should be my Twitch channel. I also stream here on the YouTube channel a little bit as more. Like, comment, subscribe for more content. If you want more videos like this, I'll do more in the future. As always, thank you for watching.